Lay back, relax, enjoy it all. Saturday night, it's time to say no more. S&M with Tally and Chaos Steve. Come pleasure or pain, welcome to the stream.
Oh, I'm doing the intro today. Hi, I'm Tally. This is Eve. Welcome to S&M.
I was gonna do the intro at least, but since you just want to.
Like you do, I won't say anything. I was like, wait, am I doing the intro?
That's why I said 3,
Shit.
2, 1. I hit the transition screen. I was just waiting for it to pop up, and it would. You're like, oh my god, oh my god.
I'm having one of those days. I'm telling you.
Good evening, everyone.
How's everyone doing?
Pat says, "Oh, how I missed that intro. I've missed it too. You know, I've had a lot going on the past few weeks. You know, Tally was sick, and then the 2 weeks after that, I had a family crisis going on. For those of you who don't know, my girlfriend was in a motorcycle accident. She's mostly fine now, but she's still, she's out of the woods, I should say. She's not like in any dire threat of life anymore. So I felt comfortable enough to leave her side for a bit, but I won't get into too many details in here, but
Well, if Kayla wants to put any what's wrong with her or what's going on out there, she can.
Yeah, that's been pretty much
it's
my.
It's not my place to do it, and it's you're a girlfriend, and it's not even your place. It's my place even less.
Right, and that's how I felt about it. Is that it's her business, her health. She can disclose as much as she wants. I just was like, hey, this is where I've been. I was playing nursemaid, so she's doing.
I bet you have great bedside manner.
No, fuck it, I'm gonna brag. I have great bedside and in bed manner, so.
Humble brag there. But anyway, thinking of talking about bedside manner and in bed skills, today we're talking about dating.
Oh yes. Oh, but before we get started, let me also note that today is National Chocolate Day.
And I don't have chocolate?
I do. I got a little thing of chocolate truffles.
Why didn't you tell me?
Because I didn't know until this morning.
Why didn't you tell me this morning?
When I say this morning, I mean like 3 or 4 hours ago when I woke up. And I saw that Sam had changed everybody in my server's names to Chocolate something or other, or Choco something, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? He says, it's National Chocolate Day, and I was like, oh.
Now I'm sad.
I'm sorry. I'll order you some truffles. I'll order you some truffles. Because I got
I still have to send you a care package of one of my favorite brands of makeup, and it will come eventually.
Mm-hmm. But now the story behind these truffles actually is funny because my former roommate, the one that moved out about a month ago now.
Wait, she moved out?
Mm-hmm. I'm here by myself. I can yell as much as I want.
Wait, is that why you now have more space because your bed's gone?
Bed's gone. I was able to rearrange a lot of stuff in the house and get things put away and sorted because there's space in my house now. But she had a whole bag of these things, a whole fucking bag of truffles, and like she hadn't even eaten not even half of it, and she was sorting through stuff, throwing stuff away, and I looked at her, I was like, excuse me, she's about to throw it in the garbage can. I was like, no, you don't want those truffles, I'll take them. She's like, oh, okay, I mean, I was just gonna throw them away. No, you were not.
That's a wasted chocolate, and it's sacrilege.
And truffles are expensive chocolate too. I mean,
Yeah. Oh, you know what? In that care package, I am going to send you a box of my favorite truffles.
oh,
They are Prosecco truffles,
oh,
and they are so good. Oh, I love them. But yeah, we're talking about dating today and stuff
Yep.
that is stuff that is universally desired, shall we say, when looking for a mate. Now, it doesn't matter if you're straight, gay, bi, or whatever. There are just some things that are universally desirable when looking for a partner.
like boobs. Everybody loves boobs.
Even gay men love boobs. Now,
Except-
I went to school with someone, the raging gay. I love him. I adore this guy. Every time he saw me, he had to motorboat my boobs.
Honey.
And you know what? Because he was a raging homo, he was the only man that could get away with doing that.
Honey. You and every other girl in the school got their boobs motorboated by him because he was pretending to be gay. Did you ever see him fuck a dude?
He's actually gay. Oh no, he is actually gay.
Did you ever see him fuck a dude?
I've never been in his bedroom when he's been doing it.
Exactly. You don't know.
It wasn't me and all the other girls in school. It was just a few select. It was just our little group of friends.
Mm-hmm. But you
He
look him
got
up
away
now,
with
he's got a
grabbing-
girlfriend.
I bet you if I look him up now, he's married to a man. I haven't seen him in years.
Oh my gosh. Mustafa says now yell racial slurs as much as you want now. No. Hikaru says, can you blame him? I cannot.
Even you know what? We've got a famous gay man here in the UK that he does
Elton
a
John?
TV show called How to Look. No, not Elton John. His name is Gok Wan,
His name is
and
what?
he does it. He's the Gok Wong, and he's an Asian man, and he's gay, and he does a TV show called How to Look Good Naked, where he takes women that are insecure and makes them feel good about their own bodies when they're naked. Helps them figure out how to dress and all that sort of thing too. He loves titties. And he's as flamboyantly gay as they come.
Like when you see gay guys like that, it's like, okay, you're gay, but you're a little bi. Like, you still like titties. You know, you may not want to fuck a chick, but
Titties are fun to play with.
titties are fun to play with.
I mean, come on. Even you sit like, I know I did it when mine first started coming in. You sit there and you just like play with them. And I know you do that.
Mm-hmm. All the time. I mean, look, here comes the queen of playing with her own titties right here. Parasite Eve. She's like, my tits are so big because I just play with them all the time. It's like, why? Yeah, Raziel says, sure he is. Exactly my point. Like, sure, that guy's gay. Okay. But anyway.
Okay. Anyway,
titties aside.
Universally desirable traits when it comes to dating.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I would say right at the top of the list, most people won't admit it, but the ability to cook and clean. No one wants to date a dirty bitch who can't cook.
I mean, not being able to cook is not necessarily a requirement as far as I'm concerned, because both me and Kayla have like passable cooking skills.
But it is desirable. And if your ability to cook is passable, you can still cook somewhat.
I don't know. Me and my well, I say passable, like Like, I can follow the instructions on a package or maybe follow a recipe, but like, do I cook on a regular basis? No. My
But you
ex-wife and
can
I, we could both cook, but we didn't like on a regular basis.
But if you had to cook, you could.
Mm-hmm. I suppose.
Exactly. It's just part of being an adult.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to dating, it doesn't matter. Like being maturity with the ability to cook and clean, everyone wants that. I mean, like,
now clean up after yourself. That's one of my pet peeves.
I love a man or a woman who can cook. Like, the way to tell his heart is through her stomach. Like, I know they say the way to a man's heart is through his stomach, but no. You want to get to my heart, go the stomach.
Well, I mean, we'd have to, because, you know, the rib cage is in the way, so I have to go up underneath it and... Oh. Eve says, I love to cook. I miss having someone to cook for. So what I'm hearing is we're all coming over to your house for dinner, right? Okay, good. So we stop a day. Yeah, you want to come over to Eve's house and let her cook dinner for us? Tally.
What? Oh yeah, let's
go over to Eve's house and have dinner.
Yeah.
Everybody go to Eve's house. Not me, Eve. Paris said Eve in chat. Don't come to me looking for dinner. Jesus, I'll order pizza. Fuck you guys. Nah, bitch. Here's some fucking. Here's some fucking what you call it? Pizza Hut. It's fucking Domino's. I ain't finna do that shit.
If I had people coming over for dinner, I would well, it would depend on what everyone wanted. I would probably make a roast though.
Yusa says, if you buy the food, I'll cook it for you. Done. I'm an easy sell that way. You do the work, I'll spend the money. I don't care. I'll just get them. I'll work at work and get them dollar bills. You know what I'm saying? Seamus says, I'll take pizza.
I noticed Hikaru says I'm saying that, but I never give him a shot. I'm assuming it's because he's a really good cook, and you're married.
Who is? Hikaru?
Hikaru.
Yeah, I mean...
You're already married. You've already got yours.
He's also polyamorous, so...
Yeah, I'm not.
Me neither, but...
Sorry, sweetie. Adore you, but no. I ain't gonna be part of that mess.
He's not saying He's not saying you gotta marry him. He's just saying, you know, maybe I can go to dinner sometime. He'll cook. Oh my goodness! But
you know what, Hikaru? I will come for dinner if you promise to keep it PG. And when I say PG, I mean PG, not PG-13.
Seamus says, I'll take the pizza, Eve. And Eve says, I'm making chicken tacos with tomatillo salsa.
Oh.
Chicken tacos and salsa. Oh,
God. You know what?
Is this going to be another one of those streams where we make ourselves super hungry by talking about food again?
Probably. Or if I had people coming for dinner, I could make those burgers that I showed you the other night in that picture. With some curly fries.
I'll just spilled water down my chin.
But I think that the ability to cook and clean, those are very important when looking for someone. Those are just important traits that everyone should have as an adult. And no one wants a partner that is a dirty bitch.
No.
Who can't even put a pizza in the oven.
That is one of my pet peeves, is like, my house is cluttered. Like, I have clutter, but I generally pick up things like food trash, like empty package wrappers, dirty dishes go in the kitchen, you know, things like that. I make sure that I'm picking up after myself at least, you know. It's cluttered. There's stuff, but there's not dirt.
Lived in.
It's lived in, yeah. I sweep my
Lived in.
floors. I vacuum. When I have carpets to vacuum. I don't have carpets here. There's all hardwood floors here. But
So you sweep and mop it.
yeah, I sweep and mop, and I clean
I
up
find
after
mopping
myself.
therapeutic.
Don't know about that, but I think mopping's kind of gross, actually.
I had a slate floor in one of the houses that I used to live in the
Mhm.
kitchen, and I used to love mopping that floor.
I like sweeping.
And because there was underfloor heating, it would dry so quick.
Because
Great.
there's something satisfying about seeing all the dirt and dust and dog hair all scooped up in the dustpan and then going into the garbage or whatever. I've actually gotten to the point where this door right here leads out to my back door. So I just swept things out into the little back porch area, either from the kitchen and from here, and then just swept it off into the backyard. All the dirt and dog hair just goes bye bye out into the wild.
You know what? I do that every day at work. At work, we've got my boss. He's got a huge dog, and when I say a huge dog, I mean a huge dog. Like, it's a big black thing, and its name is Archie, and I call him Archie Bear because he looks more like a bear than a dog, and I adore him. But I am constantly sweeping up his fur.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm constantly mopping up his dirty paw prints. But I still adore that dog. But those are desirable traits. Now, I sent you
paw
a
prints
link.
are a desirable trait in a partner.
No.
I'm a big proponent that there's a select few humans that are actually worthwhile. Otherwise, get a dog or get a cat. Even cats are more affectionate and loving than most humans.
Oh, you know what? I've got a cat that lives around here, and I adore that thing.
Yeah.
Like it actually wags its tail when I'm scratching its head. It's great.
But you just described my relationship with my puppies. They're fuzzy and leave hair everywhere and get on my nerves sometimes, but I love them to death.
You need to get one of those onesies for them.
I thought about it, but just having them in those and having to clean them regularly and it would be a pain in the ass.
All you'd have to do is chuck it in the dryer.
Yeah.
Like they said on the instructions, if you want to clear it out of hair, all you'd have to do is chuck it in the dryer.
Biggest thing is I need to shave Happy. Lucy's been trimmed. My mom trimmed Lucy while I was away on this trip. I said this trip. There was the one night. It was supposed to be one night turned into a 2-week trip down to Alabama because Kayla had an accident. But no.
She is doing better now, though.
Yes.
So I sent you a link that we can go over because these are what the what was it? What did it say? Okay, these are what quote professionals say. Is that the right thing? Oh yeah, it is. Just skip the first 3 paragraphs.
Hang on a sec.
These are what experts, quote, say the most desirable traits are. And all in all, I think I agree with most of them.
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to share the article with the class, or?
Go for it.
Okay. And there we go.
Yeah, just scroll down to the first one.
Blah 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 blah. Flavor stuff. Many of these qualities will be apparent to us when we first meet someone, but as we get to know people we date, there are invaluable traits that both look for in them and to strive for in ourselves. These ideal attributes include maturity. Yeah.
Well, I'd say cooking and cleaning would come under maturity.
Yeah, well,
because it's part of being an adult.
It is. It's taking care of your shit. Having enough wherewithal to set aside the time you need to take care of your responsibilities, to make sure your house is clean, to make sure your body's clean, to make sure that just being an adult, participating in society. And none of us like doing it. Like, I don't know of a single person that I can talk to that says, I like adulting. I like taking care of my chores and paying my bills and, being responsible. I don't know of anybody who actually likes that, but, speaking of Kayla...
Oh, well, there are some things that I love, like, freshly laundered clothes.
Like I said, speaking of Kayla, hi, Kayla. Hey, sweetie.
Hey, Kayla. Hope you're feeling better. I love freshly laundered clothes, and so I do the laundry.
Mm-hmm.
I hate doing the laundry, but I do the laundry because I like freshly laundered clothes.
Yeah, I mean,
there are days when I just want to be a potato, and I'm just like, I really can't be bothered to shower.
I like wearing clothes that don't smell like BO and sweat and icky and just I like wearing clean clothes. It's one of those things of just like maturity.
I just like the smell of fabric softener.
Maturity is taking care of your responsibilities. It's not necessarily being like a grown-up per se, because I am like, when it comes to like my interactions with people, I'm like a 12-year-old. Like...
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. Like at the moment, I moved back in. Like I had to move back in with my dad, and I'm 30, and that's depressing. And when I got here, I was like, it's like being 16 again. It's great.
But they also talk about when people mature emotionally. That's also a very important thing too, because there are a lot of things, and I know, like, I've had this conversation. I'm actually drawing to mind a conversation I had with other Eve here. She talks about how she used to, when she was a teenager, if you told her you didn't like the Smashing Pumpkins, she would just hate you. You would just not be her friend, because at that point she wasn't emotionally mature enough to go.
People like different things. That's okay.
People like different things. It's okay that you don't like my favorite thing in the whole world, But I've had very similar experiences. There were people who were like, I would not get along with them over silly things, or I would look at it and go, no, this is my emotional knee-jerk response. This is how I'll always feel about this particular subject. I'm so angry, and I'm just like, looking back at that, I go, wow, that was really silly and stupid,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we all did that as teenagers because we just didn't have the emotional maturity to get our perspective, shall I say, challenged.
Travis says, I love doing laundry. I enjoy the process. I mean, you want to come over to my house and do some laundry, bro? That'd be fantastic. Because, like, my thing is, I can throw it in the washer. I can throw it in the dryer. I can do all that. It's when it comes to, like, pulling it out and folding it and hanging it up and organizing it, that's tedious. But, it's one of those things that's got to be done,
Well, the reason I didn't go to the gym today is because I've got a box mountain. And because I've got a new bed, and this bed has drawers under it, I was able to put all of my bedding and my towels and my blankets and all that sort of thing in the drawers under the bed. Which means the huge box that they were in, I can use for other stuff. So I've compacted 3 boxes down into that one big box. So Box Mountain has shrunk. And that's what I did instead of going to the gym.
Yeah.
And now my room's a mess because of it.
But, like, even back to talk about the emotional maturity part. One of the things I've noticed is that, in my current relationship with Kayla, there are a lot of things that I used to see as, like, super important, or we've got to agree on this particular thing, or everything's just got to be just this right way. And there comes a certain point when you're just like, nah, not so much. It's not actually all that important. Like in my marriage, I would have said previously, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago when I was married, I would have told you that those are the most important things in the world. Now, not so much.
Something else that I think is important is making time for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Now, spending time together is different than making time for each other.
I would agree.
Because spending time with each other, you can be like out in public and like, let's say at the gym. You're at the gym, you're working out. Technically, you are spending time together, but you're kind of doing your own thing because you're both working out and doing what you need to do. And that is very different to actually taking the time to sit down together and talk or to watch a movie together.
He says, I disagree with you. Yeah, Raziel said he's like, he doesn't like Smashing Pumpkins. And Eve says, I disagree with you, sir. See, that was a much more mature response than she would have had, a long time ago. Same with me. There are opinions I would have held that I'd have been like, oh, you have to have these things, like, check all these boxes, meet all these requirements, and you get older and you're just like, that shit doesn't matter as much as I thought it did, It's very superficial. It's one of the reasons why I find, not to get off on a tangent here, but like SJW culture so fucking superficial and annoying. It's because they want to bond over things like our sexuality and our gender identities and things like that, but none of those things actually have much bearing on our real life,
Well, you've also got to bear in mind these people, they're not emotionally mature. A lot of them are very emotionally stunted. And you've got spoiled brat syndrome, and they're like,
yeah, and it's that's the thing. It's one of those things that it's okay to be that when you're younger.
All of them look like they stink, and all of them look like they smell bad.
Well, it again goes back to like a maturity thing of like taking care of oneself. If they don't have the maturity to just be like, yeah, no, you can disagree with me on a subject and we can move on, then obviously, it's obvious that they don't have that maturity that they need. They don't have the maturity to take care of themselves. They don't have the maturity to disagree with someone and just move along, or to even better, disagree with someone and actually maintain a relationship with them. There are lots of things that I disagree with and my preference with.
I mean, there are things that me and you disagree on, and you've changed my mind, I've changed your mind, and then there are things that we're just like, we disagree. That's all right.
Very much so.
Because we are emotionally mature adults who have that ability.
I'm trying.
I mean, yeah, there are times when well, like I said, emotionally mature doesn't mean you can't be childish.
It's more of the thing of I am aware of it. I don't necessarily feel like I'm all that mature, but I'm at least aware of the places where I'm immature now. I'm very aware of it, and I can cognizantly step back and say, I know this is an immature response, but I just can't help feeling this way about this particular subject,
I'm 30 and I still sleep with a stuffed animal and I'm wearing a flower crown. I'm aware I'm immature. But I am emotionally mature enough to say, we disagree, but I still love you.
And with that, we'll move on to number 2.
Yes.
Openness. The ideal partner is open, undefended, and willing to be vulnerable. Ooh, see, that's hard. Especially for a lot of us who have been through some shit, who've been betrayed, who've been hurt. Being open is really difficult.
Well,
letting someone in,
Well, you've got to remember that it's not just letting someone in. You've got to find someone that is willing to earn that trust for you to let them in. Because you can't just, if you are just open to everyone, like, where am I going with this? It wouldn't end well. It just would not end well for you. You would constantly get your heart broken. You would be used all the time. And it just wouldn't be a good thing. So, yes, be open. Yeah. But at the same time, that openness has to be earned.
That's very fair. Figuring out who you can be open with, not, been pretty what's the word I'm looking for? Open about the fact that I've learned a lot about who I can trust and who I can't over the past few years, you know, because there's been a lot of people who've come into my life who have definitely earned that trust and definitely worked for it, and they have it. And there are other people who I gave the trust to that didn't really deserve it and didn't, you know, ended up hurting me in the process because I trusted them and shouldn't have because they abused that, you know. So openness in that regard is definitely an important factor of any relationship. But there's also the aspect of being open to differences that.
Sorry, finish your thought.
I was gonna say you can go ahead if you want to stay on this particular. I was gonna shift it slightly to a different type of openness.
Oh no, I'm going to stay on openness at the moment. But there is also that openness because I find a lot of people, they like to just jump into relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm at the age where I can hear my biological clock. And it's loud and it keeps, yes, that. And it's like niggling in my brain constantly. And when me at my age, I am very open about what I want and all of that sort of thing. Like, I want to get married, I want to settle down, I want to have more kids.
Deep breath. You're younger than me. It's okay.
I know.
Because you're what, like 28 at most now?
I'm 30.
The
I was
fuck
30.
you are.
I turned 30 on the 1st of June.
I got news for you, Tally. Are you ready for this? This is going to probably terrify you and absolutely. Your 30s are probably going to be the best years of your life. Not going to lie.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Because I'm really finding that. I'm 34 now. And I'm really finding when it comes to my 30s, I'm wiser than I was in my 20s. Wise enough to know that I don't know everything, and wise enough to be a little more careful. But I'm also still young enough to enjoy so much in my life because...
Yeah, you know what? I agree.
Yeah.
Like, when it comes to dating now, I'm like, right, these are the things I want out of a relationship. And if you don't want the same thing, then we might as well not even try.
Yeah, and you're at that point where you're just like, okay, you know, I'm not fucking around anymore. You know, I'm not here to play games. If you want to play games, there's other people.
I mean, I never really been the one to play games, but I was never really open about what I want out of a relationship right at the beginning. Because I was like, we'll figure it out as we go. No.
Yeah.
This is what I want out of life. Do you want the same thing? Because if you don't, it's not going to work.
Yeah, it won't go the distance. And that very much makes the... that very much is... Damn, I lost my train of thought. That is very important. And it's one of those things of, you know, 5-10 years ago, you may not even known what those answers were, let alone...
Well, I always knew that the one thing I wanted to be, if I couldn't be anything else, was a mother. I can hear the feminist screeching from here.
Anyway.
All I wanted to do was be a mother and take care of my kids and give them a good life. That's all I wanted to do.
But
I was never really I'd never sat down with a partner until recently and gone, right, this is what I want out of life. Do you want the same thing? Or what do you want out of life? Okay, well.
And that actually plays into the next part. Honesty and integrity. Being upfront. This is what I want. This is what I'm looking for. I'm not here to mess around.
Well, it's also being open, isn't it?
I'm
I'd
looking
say,
for
I'd say
someone.
it ties into both of them.
Yeah, as I said, it plays into the next one. Number 3 here, honesty and integrity. The ideal partner realizes the importance of honesty in a close relationship. Yeah, because you can't, any relationship, whether it's romantic or a friendship, you can't build that on falsehood. You can't make shit up and just pretend that the relationship's going to be okay. You have to be honest. You have to be candid about where you are, because otherwise there's so much that goes wrong when you start lying about things. So being honest.
See, now that's why I try to keep you as up to date with what's going on in my life as much as possible.
Yeah. And like I said, we're just friends, we're doing this, we're just doing a show together. We're not even, and think about how much more important that honesty and integrity is in a romantic relationship.
Oh yeah, definitely. But if you if you didn't message me the other day and say, or last week and say, oh shit, I forgot to send out a tweet, I'm still in Alabama, can you send it out? Okay. See, now if you hadn't done that, I would have been here at 10 o'clock at night waiting for you.
Where is this redheaded tranny bitch? I mean, I can't say the T word.
Where is the ginger bitch? I do love redheads though. It's so cute on you.
It's all natural too.
Yeah,
I love
know.
Being a redhead.
I'm gonna get a peach hair toner, and I might go a little bit strawberry blonde for the summer.
Girl, you're just trying to copy me. Do it.
Yeah. I look good as a redhead, but not like red. I mean like a strawberry peachy blonde red.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but yeah, it's true. You should be honest. Yeah.
Yeah. I very much agree. And that one's just
if you're not, and that's not just like when it comes to sex as well. If you're not enjoying something that your partner's doing, tell them.
Yeah.
Give them a little bit of direction. They will thank you for it, and you will thank them for it when they follow those directions.
And one of the things that, again, talking about my own current relationship, one of the things that it plays back into the openness. Openness is also, being vulnerable with someone. Being honest and vulnerable with someone and saying, like, look, this is where my shortcomings are. This is where I fail. This is where this is where I have concerns and things like that. And I've just gone to, like, I'm going to just lay this on the table, and Kayla can confirm. I've come to her crying about something that just was such a personal, deep-seated thing inside me, like what's the word I'm looking for? Like a fear or a misgiving I had about being in a relationship again and things like that. And I've just kind of laid that on the table in front of her, just sitting there just sobbing, and she's just like, "That's it? Really?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, this is like a big..." She's like, "I love you, bitch. What are you talking about?" And I'm just like, it turned out to not even be as big a thing, because she was just so open and so accepting of it. And there were a lot of things that, getting into a new relationship after having been out of one for so long, that I didn't realize I had all of this stuff pent up, and being able to work through that. But if we weren't open and honest with one another, then that would have still been, festering inside of me, but it's not anymore.
I get that too. I get that too. I was really emotional and needy yesterday.
Sometimes
I just said outright, I don't know why, but I'm needy today.
It's important to recognize that too, because then you can lay that on the table and just be honest with your partner about, this is how I'm feeling today. Is this something you can help me with? I don't know why.
There is no particular reason for it. It could just be my hormones going crazy for no reason whatsoever. I'm just needy and I just want attention.
But, and it's okay to need your partner, especially you need your partner's attention sometimes. Oh my goodness, just to be like, hey, pay attention to me. Hey. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Kayla does it all the time. I'm just kidding. I'm just teasing.
She sounds like a little cat. Hey, pay attention to me, please.
She's a cute cat. Number 4, respect and independence. Ideal partners value each other's interests separate from their own. Ooh.
Oh, it is so important, because although I say it's important to make time for each other, it is also important to spend time apart. And I don't mean going to work. I mean, it is important to be able to go out and spend time with your friends. Like, each of you have a different hobby, and one night a week, one of you, like, I like D&D, I'll play D&D. Saz likes his cars, he can go play with his cars.
I mean, yes, in a lot of relationships, but because I'll say for sure, you know, I just spent like 2 weeks in close proximity with my girlfriend, pretty much straight. But there were times when I just was like, hey, I just need to, you know, do something on my own for a bit. You know, I went to the store, or, you know, got some snacks and just talked in Discord with people for about 20-30 minutes. You know, just had to get to my own headspace for a little bit, because I don't know what it is exactly, but, you know, but not everybody needs that. There are people who can literally just spend hours upon hours, days upon days locked in with each other.
That's not healthy.
Not necessarily. As long as they're doing things they want to do, it doesn't really seem to matter if they're doing it together.
Do you know how many divorce rates have spiked since quarantine started? Because people are sick of spending time with their spouses.
Well, it's not even so much that, but like I said, I don't think everybody is like that necessarily, but a lot of people do need, if you need that independence, if that is what you need, and most people do need that separation, need that space sometimes.
I think it's more healthy to have a little bit of independence, because you've got to remember, although you are coming together to be a partnership, you are still individuals.
Right.
And therefore, it is important to have individual interests.
Mm-hmm. And that, I'm not saying that they necessarily need to give those up. I'm just saying that, you know, what if the thing that, you know, that the two people bond over the most is their primary hobby or interest, you know, and they do that thing together. And that's one of the things that brings them together, is that hobby or that interest, you know.
Well, there's nothing wrong with having hobbies together.
Yeah, it's not to say that.
I'm not saying don't ever do a hobby together.
No, I'm let me finish explaining. Because I think we're on the same track here. I think we're just kind of talking past each other.
We're kind of like that, rather than...
Yeah, we're going like this instead of meeting in the middle and understanding what each other's talking about. So I'm saying that in terms of, like, have things that are that you're interested in because you want to be interested in them, regardless of whether your partner does or not, you know. But if you're both interested in the same things and do them together, that's okay too, you know. But just have your individuality, have your thing that's not just about, I guess I'm kind of trying to say the same thing. Definitely individuality is important. Definitely being your own person is important.
Space. See, but
it doesn't necessarily have to be alone with. When I
was with my ex, my little-ins father, we both, although we only lived in a tiny little 2-bedroom cottage, we both had our own space. My space was the kitchen, and I loved my kitchen. His space was the corner in the living room, and I was constantly cleaning up the semicircular shit that he always ended up. Like, he would take, like, Rizzler papers, screw them up into a tiny ball like this, and just flick them. And I was constantly hoovering them up. Where did that go? I'm going to have to find that now. Found it. There it is.
Oh my goodness. But, like, you know, that goes a long way for respecting, you know.
I
Sorry.
will say, at least his mess was contained to that small area instead of being spread all out the house. So it was okay. I knew that there was going to be a mess around that one spot where he sat. And the reason he sat there was because there was a nice little end cave next to the sofa where he could hide his bong.
Yeah, I'm just kind of going off on a tangent here. Kefkeith apparently thought that Eve was 24, and she says, "No, ma'am, I'm 38." And she says, "Tell me your secrets." And I was like, "Skincare." Like that's the one thing Eve put me onto was skincare. Like, take care of your skin. Take care of your meat suit.
I'm not wearing foundation.
Yeah. If you just take care of your skin, put some effort into taking care of it. Everyone's is going to be slightly different, but you know, like I said,
Something
Eve
that
put
is
me onto that
universal
about
that
a year
I
ago,
recommend
and
everyone use is retinol. Find a cream that has retinol in it and use it morning and night every day.
I want to say Eve mentioned something like that. My routine is very simplistic, but it's also something I can keep up with. You know, I just have like I use mineral oil to initially cleanse and remove. Like when I take this makeup off tonight, I'm starting with mineral oil, then following up with a face wash. Then I use like a after rinsing all that off, I use Neutrogena Hydro Boost and then some lotion on my face. And then, like she said, sunscreen.
Oh yeah, sunscreen. Oh
Protect
yeah,
your skin.
definitely sunscreen. Yeah. Never go. And if you wear a sunscreen, factor 30 or above.
He says, "I want to make you as cute as me." Aw. Oh, I always go for SPF 50 because as pale as I am, I burn so easy.
See, that's why I said factor 30 minimum.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't care how dark your skin is, factor 30.
Just even if you're just going out to, you know, the grocery store, put some sunscreen on your face. You know, very important.
See, my skincare routine's pretty simple. I use a cleansing balm that turns into an oil when you rub it in. And then I use a gentle face wash to remove all of the oils after the oils have in the cleansing balm has melted away all my makeup. Then I use my retinol serum, and then I have a retinol moisturizer. But I also have a moisturizer that is a factor 30 sunscreen, which I use in the morning.
See, we were just talking about that, being alone, the pros and cons of time, alone. Some people naturally prefer alone time, and that can be fine. Right, you know, some people need the alone time more than others. Sometimes some people need larger quantities of it. Some people need to spend hours a day saying, nah, I just need like 3 or 4 hours to myself, you know, away from their partner, away from friends, away from everybody. Others, like me, I'm more of a social butterfly type, so I need, you know, human interaction. So even if I'm not with my partner, I need to be talking to somebody pretty much, you know, so.
Yeah. I'm like that. There are times when I'm like, no, I don't want to speak to anyone. I just want to stay here and watch stupid videos on YouTube. Although at the moment I am enjoying watching Sinatra Says tear into the fat bitches because it encourages me to go to the gym.
Oh, maybe I need to watch
because I don't want to be one of them fat bitches.
Number 5 is empathy. The ideal partner perceives their mate on both an intellectual observational level perceives their mate on both an intellectual observational level and an emotional intuitive level. This person is able to both understand and empathize with his or her partner. I would say that one of the important things, you know, to understand if you can, but you're not always going to understand the person.
Saying that is intuitive is kind of disingenuous. Because, yeah, 9 times out of 10, if someone is as upset, you can tell they are upset.
Well, as you grow together, yeah, you do start to kind of read
because you are dating. Yeah. So, but you're never going to know what's going on in their head, and you need to speak to them about that.
Yeah. Sometimes, well, I mean, like I said, the longer you're with somebody, sometimes you can just read their expressions. Sometimes you can just tell they're being extra quiet right now. Something's bothering them, or you can just see like the way that your partner taps their foot. You know they're really happy and excited right now that whatever you did, even if they're not very facially emotionally expressive, there's some kind of body language or something you learn to read over time. So
Well,
being intuitive and paying attention to your
there is
partner
also
is important.
doing something that is off. Like, for example, when I went into labor, it was 3 o'clock in the morning on a Thursday morning, and I got out of bed and I just started walking around. And my little one's father had only just come to bed an hour before that at this point. And I was like walking around the room pacing, and he goes to me, "What's wrong with you?" It's like, I don't know. Because I was confused as well. I was walking around, I was confused, and I had no idea what was going on. Turns out your brain just shuts down when you go into labor and you have no idea what's going on. Luckily, there was someone there that did know what was going on.
Well, that's good.
Well, I figured it out pretty quickly when the contractions started.
I bet you did. Your body was preparing. It's like, nope. Let's loosen up this vagina.
But my brain just went. I got all fuzzy brained, and I got out of bed, and I just started walking around, and he couldn't figure out what was going on with me, but he knew there was something not right.
Yeah, I mean, and that's
Because
one
I
of the
just
obvious
didn't do
ones.
that.
But there are also, like I said, it could be an expression on your partner's face. Could be like just some body language that they exhibit. Could be subtle.
Yeah, that is a more extreme example that I give there. But yeah, you're right.
Oh, I was looking back at the respect and independence over here, that they feel congenial towards and support each other's overall goals in life. That reminds me of what you were saying about, like, this is what I want out of life. If you're not on board with this, if you can't at least support this, then we're not going to go anywhere, But you know what you want. You know what your goals are. And that's, again, one of the things I like about being in my 30s is I feel like I figured out what I want more.
It's okay to have different goals. However, they kind of have to be goals that are parallel to each other.
I would say not even necessarily parallel, but they shouldn't conflict. Like, I want to be a single, I want to be, a couple that never has kids, and I want to be a couple that has kids are definitely goals that conflict,
Mm-hmm.
But if
there's let's say, for example, I want to be a successful business person and I want to open my own business. I want to have kids and be able to build a life with someone. And they do not conflict.
Yeah, both of those things are possible if you work together and plan it and, put some effort into it. But, no, I just saw that line there, and it's like supporting each other's goals and things like that. It's very interesting on how that works.
Yeah, as long as you can have different goals as long as they don't conflict.
Yeah, but
that's the takeaway.
Back to empathy. I don't think that understanding is always necessary. Because there have definitely been times where I've been like, I don't understand why you feel this way. Like, it doesn't affect me the same way it does you. However, I do understand that this is important to you, and this is upsetting to you, or is a strong emotion, like this is exciting to you, or whatever. Like, Kayla loves motorcycles. I like motorcycles. I don't love motorcycles, but I understand that Kayla loves motorcycles. And so...
You don't understand it, but you respect it.
I don't understand. I guess I don't understand her passion for it because it doesn't click the same way with me. But I understand that it is important to her. And I understand that she loves motorcycles. So I am supportive of that because I know it's something that she enjoys, something that she's passionate about. And
it's kind of like Saz with cars.
Exactly.
He loves cars. I mean, I like cars.
Right.
I really like cars.
Mm-hmm.
He's more extreme with it.
but at least you understand. Well, he likes these. This is what he's really into. This is what he enjoys. He loves these things. So
he doesn't want to work to do that, but he loves his project car.
Right.
You know what? I have no idea what's going on with this project car, but that's okay.
Or like, let's say heaven forbid he wrecks that car. Oh my God, for him, that's heartbreaking. That's going to really punch him in the gut and really, hurt him. And while you may not understand it, for you, it's just like, it's a car, I understand you invested some money in it, it sucks. But you also can look at him and be like, I am empathetic towards you.
But he didn't just invest money into it. He also invested time into it because he built it himself.
But that's you taking the time to understand why those things are important to him. And even if you don't feel the same way, you're empathetic to him. That if something was to happen to his car and he was to be upset, you could be there to console him and support him.
It's kind of like, let's say you worked very hard to save money to be able to buy something.
Mm-hmm.
And that thing is very important to you because you spent months, maybe years, saving to buy it. It could be anything. It could be a TV. It could be a PlayStation. It could be a house. And that thing is going to be way more important to you than if you didn't put the effort in.
Right.
So I get it.
Yeah. And I've
got things like that.
By taking that approach, that's the approach I try to take with a lot of things. When something is important to someone, I try to understand why it's important to them, why, there's emotional, mental, monetary investment, money that you worked your ass off to earn so that you could invest in this thing. You spent long hours of your life, working a job so that you could pay for this thing. And that's
like me
why
with this
it's
bed.
important. Exactly.
I worked hard to get this bed, and it was a cheap bed that I got from a hospice charity shop, but it's my bed and I love it.
And you earned it yourself, and that's important to you.
I did. I earned this bed.
Exactly. And that's why it matters to you and is like an important thing to you. So that understanding that way and taking the time to be empathetic towards others in that way is a really big important part of any relationship, not just romantic ones, but especially in romantic relationships.
Yeah.
Next is going to be number 6, affection. The ideal partner is easily affectionate and responsive on many levels, physically, emotionally, and verbally. I slightly disagree with this one.
Yeah, I disagree.
Simply because everybody's different.
There are people that just don't like to be touched very much.
Right. There are people who are much more physically affectionate. I'm very physically affectionate, but if I'm with somebody who's not, they're not going to be... we're going to clash because I'm very physically affectionate. I express affection that way.
Well, there are different people show affection in different ways. Like, I know someone that shows her affection for the people that she loves by baking.
Exactly. It's what we call the love languages. There are different ways that people communicate their affection towards each other, both in romantic and platonic relationships. We tell each other, some people it's giving gifts, it's doing things for some people, it's the gift of service. We're just doing things for people. Others, it's verbal. Others, it's physical affection. There are many different ways that people communicate. And one of the things about being in a relationship, it's important to communicate on the same level, or at least understand each other on that level. If you and I are trying to, have a relationship and I'm physically affectionate, but you're just like, don't touch me, that's not going to go well,
Well, everyone has those days where they're just like, you know what, I just hate my life today and I just don't want to be touched.
Yeah, like on those days, sure, but like overall, like that wouldn't work,
But then there are also people where it's like, I've had an awful day, I want to cuddle.
Exactly. And it really depends on what your love languages are and your personality type. But so that's very
affection
very important.
On some level is important.
Yeah, showing affection in some level and understanding your partner is very important because, like I said, if your love languages are going past each other and you're not receiving what your partner's putting out, then there's not much point there.
I dated someone that the only way they ever showed affection was by saying, I love you. That's it. And I was like, well, you don't spend any time with me. Like
It's not really
you don't
affection.
talk to me like at all. You don't like we don't sit down and watch movies or like do anything. Just every so often you say you love me. That's it. And I just got to the point where it's like, well, do you though?
Yeah. Keki says, I'm a huggle whore. Lothly don't like being touched, but he puts up with me. But I reckon that's him and me. That him and me don't count. Oh, no, you count. You always count.
It is a strange dynamic with you two.
But, no, I mean... So yeah, it's very important to communicate on a level, communicate affection on a level that your partner is aware of and understands. Like even if you don't, even if it's not necessarily your favorite form of what's the word I'm looking for? Your favorite form of affection, yeah. Understanding what your partner is trying to do, and that they're putting effort into making that work, is very important.
Well, I show my affection by cooking for the person that I love, baking, giving random gifts out of nowhere. Like even if it's just a flower, I picked this for you.
Oh.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the reasons this relationship with this guy didn't work is because he refused to eat anything I cooked. And then he would say, you don't cook for me.
What?
It's like, yeah, I do. It's like, but I don't like what you cooked. It was like, well, I still cooked it.
It's like, yeah, well then say something beforehand. We can make arrangements for I can cook something that you like, but you didn't tell me what you wanted.
Like, no, he said he didn't like it. He didn't even try it. How do you know you didn't like it when you didn't try it? Asshole.
A little bit. And number 7 is sense of humor. The ideal partner has a sense of humor. A sense of humor can be a lifesaver in a relationship. Again, I would point out a similar sense of humor, like...
Oh, yeah. It's not very good to have someone that is very sensitive with someone that their sense of humor is gallows humor.
Like, yeah, that's Kayla. Kayla has a very dark sense of humor.
Well, yeah, because she was in the military. A lot of military personnel, they deal with the stress, and firefighters and policemen do the same thing. People that have high stress jobs, they all do it. They develop a form of gallows humor to deal with the horrors that they see every day. And that's where that came from.
Mm-hmm. It's not even... I can't even say it's just that, but it's... But yeah, that's definitely one of the reasons why, a lot of them just stopped giving a fuck about a lot of things, so they, they just kind of...
See, now...
said whatever.
Now, see, if someone says something that's gallows humor to me, I will get one of two. You'll get one of two responses. I will laugh my ass off, or I'll just sit there like I don't get
it. But yeah, no, like I said, Kayla has a very edgy sense of humor. While there's a part of me that kind of goes, "Oh my God, Kayla, I can't believe you said that." There's another part of me that's going in the corner going, "That's funny." It's dark as fuck, but that's funny.
Saz likes to make racist jokes.
Oh God.
And it's funny to see all the white people in the room sit there and go, "Are we allowed to laugh at that?"
He's black, by the way, if you guys didn't know. So.
He is black. He's very black.
Well, Kayla likes her Nazi jokes, like low key. like is one of the most anti-racist, non-racist people I've ever met, but you know has actively gone against and argued with and fought against white nationalism and things like that. But we'll sit there and crack a Nazi joke just to make somebody giggle.
I'm friends with an Israeli Jew who thinks Holocaust jokes are hilarious.
I mean,
hey, the Jews have a very good sense of humor. It just seems to be universal when it comes to Jews.
Yeah, no, right? Like I said, some people are just more sensitive than others, have more sensitive sensibilities and don't like particular things. Other people, like, legitimately will have, like, trauma tied to certain things. They just don't want to discuss something. They just don't like particular subjects because, you know, it upsets them. It draws back to, like, bad things that have happened to them in the past. And that's understandable, you know?
Yeah.
But I think, you know, so everybody's going to have different levels of what they're comfortable with. And it makes sense to, oh no, Mustafa.
You know what? I really do understand this because I was in an physically abusive relationship, as everyone knows.
Mm-hmm.
It was very physically abusive, and for a while afterwards, I was very sensitive when it came to humor about abuse. But as time's gone on, it's just I've just gotten over it.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten over it to the point so much where I don't even hate the person who beat me. I'm just indifferent.
It's just wasted energy, honestly, hating someone.
Well, hating him would imply I still have strong emotions towards him, and I don't.
That's good.
I don't care. Like, I don't care what he does. He can do whatever the fuck he likes, as long as he doesn't do it near me.
It's like when I think of my dad, you know, like the stuff that he basically just kind of walked out on my family. And left my mother, his wife of like 37 years.
With 6 kids.
With 6 kids, who he had 6 kids with, and, you know, she was a housewife for about at least a good 30 years of that, if not longer. Up until I was born. Once I was born, she's pretty much a housewife at that point. And the thing of it is that, you know, I could be mad, I could be angry, I could, you know, look down on him. I just don't feel anything because it's just, why would I waste that energy? I've got better things to focus my time and energy on. I've got other things that are actually
I bet your mother doesn't even hate him anymore with how long it's been. Does she hate him? Like, because with how long it's been.
She's still got a lot of bitterness there, like Loki, but that's her issue to deal with. And there's
a difference between being bitter and having seething hatred.
Yeah, but but I'm more like on your level with it. I just don't feel anything. It's like it's like, what do you think of this person? And it's just like, I don't think of them at all, you know?
I mean, the only time I ever really bring him up is when we're talking about
yeah, you don't ever really talk about it.
I was in a relationship with him and I had a baby with him.
Yeah.
So if it's relevant to the conversation we're having, I will mention it. But my regular, everyday, day-to-day life, I don't even think about him.
Yeah. But
my mother showed me a picture of his 2 other kids, and I was like, well, I don't care.
But you know, like I said, everybody deals with pain and trauma differently. You know, I like to give the example when Kayla and Reaper first met. You know, Reaper didn't like Kayla because she was sitting there cracking jokes about something that had to do with one of her battle buddies, like dying or whatever. And she even later on was like, no, don't get me wrong. That hurt when he died. Like, you know, he took his own life, and, you know, it's a very sad thing that our military vets can't get the help that they need to deal with the stuff that they're reacclimating to life and stuff. But and a lot of vets do their absolute damnedest to look out for each other and to be there for one another. And, you know, when something like that happens, a lot of them feel like they failed their brothers, you know.
there was an American veteran who started a charity that helped other veterans deal with the change when they came back to.
There's a lot of
when they went back.
There's
to
a lot of
States.
programs for those kind of things, thankfully. But
Yeah, I know.
even still,
but
it's
I'm
not
thinking
enough.
about one in particular, and he helped hundreds of veterans. And then there was one that was just so messed up, he couldn't help him, and this veteran ended up killing him.
I don't know the details on that, but that's
They made a movie about it.
I don't know. But focusing
to
less
think
on
of
that
the
specific
Yeah.
instance. No, but there are a lot of them that like kick themselves. But Kayla's way of dealing with pain and trauma is to make
about
jokes, to goof around and to tell really dark, fucked up, jokes about things. And
I don't see the
she-
point in telling someone
she-
off for telling a
hang on,
dark
hang on.
joke about the subject.
The thing was that it was cryptic and it was Reaper, and both of them are vets, and they found it disrespectful that Kayla was referring to her battle that way, her former fellow soldier that she served with, and they didn't really know her at the time, and getting to know her better, they were like, okay, we understand that this is how you deal with pain and trauma. You deal with it by cracking dark jokes, and she's like, no, that fucked me up, but I don't deal with it by sitting there crying about it. That's not going to fix anything. So I make jokes and crack wise and move on to something else, because sitting there dwelling on it is not going to fix anything. And I'm like, okay, fair,
It's kind of like a rape victim making jokes about rape.
Very much so.
And then you've always got to have that one SJW fucker who's never been raped that always has to take offense for it.
Well, that's a whole nother conversation. But
It really is.
So the point of that was telling about like different senses of humor. People will read it differently, and your sense of humor should be on par with your partner's as well. It's one of the things to look for in a partner is a similar sense of humor.
I mean, you can have slightly different senses of humor, and you can find different things funny.
But even if you do, you need to find your partner funny. Even if they need to make you laugh, they need to bring joy to your life. And one of the ways that Kayla does that to me is just making me laugh all the time.
Marilyn Monroe famously said, "If you can make a woman laugh, you can make her do anything."
Oh, there was a screenshot somebody took of like a Master Oogway from Kung Fu Panda, and it says something along the lines of, if you can make her giggle, you can clap them cheeks. And I'm just like, God damn. It's not wrong, but it's a great way to get to someone, to let people's guard down, because laughing, everybody loves to laugh. There's nobody I can think of that doesn't like to laugh about something.
Laughter
happy.
actually boosts your immune system and lowers stress levels.
And everybody likes
People
it. It releases
who laugh,
endorphins in your brain, makes you feel good. You feel connected with the person that you're laughing with, who made you laugh. And it's just a great way to communicate.
People who who have a lot of laughter in their lives tend to live longer.
Mm-hmm. Well, hanging out with you clowns, I better live to be a million.
Because laughter, it's good for you. It's healthy.
But
being depressed actually shortens your lifespan. So be happy, you fuckers.
With that said, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, while I'm gonna post this in chat here, if you would fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say.
If you would like to give us any comments or concerns, ask us any questions.
We've reached the call-in poor segment of our show. So if you would like to come in and hang out with us for a few minutes, give us any comments, queries, questions, say if you have something you want to add to anything we've said here today, or if you just want to ask us a question.
It's okay, boo. I got you.
How does Tally get her titties to look so perky all the time? Even though she's like a
good
fucking
genetics.
like what cup size is Tally? Who you guys ever wanted to know? You can come on here and ask her. I happen to know the answer to that, but I'm not going to tell for if you want to ask some questions, come on here and hop in the.
See, this show is going to add an extra year onto my lifespan.
Join the Discord, which I just dropped a link there in chat. Hop in the waiting room or the green room, sorry, right there in the live streaming. After you come in, join the servers, accepted the rules, which is a real quick little checkbox thing.
Yeah, it's really easy, and then one of us will drag you in, probably me.
Probably Tally, because she pays closer attention to it than I do.
Yeah, because you're looking at 2-3 screens at once. I've just got the one.
Yeah, I'm just looking at my.
I would.
I've got a lot to look at here. I got my
screen.
tits, your tits, screens. I got everything here. Just needs to be paid attention to, and
Well, you're running the system.
Yeah. But yeah.
I would like to have another screen so I can actually see what the chat is saying.
Fuck. Mustafa says Ministry of Morale leader Talita Constantine says be happy or else. Ministry of Morale.
Yeah. See, that's why I say at the end of the...
And no, I didn't confuse you with the other black guy, Mustafa. I just read Eve's name that said Parasite Eve down below you, and it was just, my name said P for whatever reason. So.
Yeah, see, that's why I try to say at the end of the show, just do what makes you happy.
Do what makes you happy.
Sometimes I forget.
It's okay. It's okay to forget sometimes.
We have Travis. Hello,
Hi,
Travis.
Are you there, Travis?
Is your sound working today?
Hello?
Is your sound working today? No, it's not. You might want to mess around with your settings. Go into your settings and see what your mic settings are.
We're gonna toss you down into the green room for now. Once you get that that sorted out, we can pull you back in. Okay, thank you. Now you're confusing me with Eve. Well, I just, I was trying to make a joke there, but I can't think of what to actually say that I can say on YouTube. This is being recorded live, people.
Yeah.
We'll do it live!
Yeah, so if anyone else would like to join us, like he said, you can ask us anything.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell us your thoughts on what we were talking about today. You can say if you think we're wrong, but we're not.
We're not.
We're not wrong.
I think all of those things were useful in some way, to some degree. Depends on, like I said, I feel like some of them are a little like, having a sense of humor. Well, yeah, but you need to have a sense of humor that matches with your partner. You need to have an affection that you can understand from your partner, independence to the degree that you need it with your partner,
Your levels of basically your levels of independence, sense of humor, and affection have to be compatible.
Else maturity needs to be similar too. That's some of the things to consider. It's not even necessarily that you need like a ton of that from your partner, but you need to be on the same wavelength.
Your maturity levels don't have to be the same. I mean,
okay, fair, but think about it this way: if you're having to go around and clean up behind somebody and take care of them all the time, that's kind of annoying. But there's some people who like that, so.
But you have to remember, a lot of men don't grow up; they just get bigger and their toys get more expensive.
That's true.
And if any men took offense to that, you can come and try and tell me off, but I won't care.
Deep said, I got a tan to be chocolate like you. Oh my god. That's not okay. Does anybody have any thoughts, queries, questions, anything they'd like to add to today's show? You know, you can even type it in chat if you're just too shy to come on and voice chat with us.
Yeah, you can.
What was y'all's favorite part about today's show? Was it Eve shamelessly flirting with Mustafa and calling him Chocolate Daddy, or what?
But he is Chocolate Daddy.
Oh my god. I have never...
And
I could, like, feel that man blush through the internet when y'all do that.
I know. So can I. It sustains me.
I noticed. Goodness gracious.
Shall we see if Travis has fixed his thing?
Let's see.
Travis, did you fix your mic?
Doesn't seem like
I guess
it.
not.
You're not even lighting up, so I'm wondering if your stuff's even being detected.
No, it's not. All right, you might actually have to go into your computer settings rather than Discord settings to try and fix it.
Yeah, because this keeps happening to you, bro. So I'm finna like, I'm finna like pull you aside after stream. We're gonna fix this shit. Not gonna let this happen. You know more. Can you hear us?
Just nod if you can hear us.
I don't even think you can hear us in chat. Oh my goodness. All right, well, we're gonna put you back down in here so we can probably close out the show here in just a minute.
Yeah, I guess he's the only one that
like
wanted to join
an hour
today.
and a half. So anyway, it's a new mic. Okay, well we can get you. We can help you get. I'll help you work with it after.
Oh, here's Eve.
Oh. Uh
Eve.
oh. Hello there, Miss Eve.
Hi, ladies.
How you doing?
I just thought I'd pop in and say hi.
Well, it's good to hear from you.
Well, you are always welcome.
Aw, thank you. You know, I love you
We
both.
adore you. We do love you.
I just want to say that let's celebrate National Chocolate Daddy Day. Everybody needs to give Mustafa some love and a hug and a nibble because he's chocolate.
But everyone
my
knows.
Goodness.
Everyone already knows chocolate's my weakness.
I'm aware. In more ways than one.
And I did want to add to the conversation of what you guys were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
I have, through the different relationships that I've had and through the different friendships that I have, I realized that there are a lot of people who, especially with my last relationship, I think one of the hardest challenges for us was aligning with each other once we got past a certain point.
Yeah.
I like to show my affection in a lot of different ways. I can be very affectionate and like touchy, but then there are times where I don't want to be touched.
Oh yeah, I go through
And
those.
then I also like to buy them things, not necessarily about the present itself or even just it being a present, but it's more of like, hey, I saw this and it made me think about you, and I know that you like these things, so this is why I got it for you. It has nothing to do with it being a gift or the amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of like, for me, it's a thoughtful thing because I want to be thoughtful and I want people to be thoughtful of me, so I kind of treat them the way I want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not always been reciprocated in my case, and that's something I've had to deal with from a relationship standpoint, even with friendships and things like that. I'm getting to the point in my life now where I'm learning to see that the other people are not giving me as much as I'm giving them.
Mm-hmm.
And then at a certain point, I kind of pull away because I'm not going to continue to invest as much of my energy and time into the relationship if they're not. And if they're not going to
I get
engage
that.
me to a certain point, I
Yeah,
just step back.
I've
Yeah.
gone through that.
Well,
I've gone through that.
That's definitely one of the things I've noticed about you, having known you for well over a year now. Your love languages are gift giving and service, and haven't met you in person to experience how huggy you are, but you know I believe you when you say you're a huggy person. So you're a physically affectionate person. Like I said, that's kind of the things that I do. I'm also very verbally things that are said, you know, words very much have an impact on me. Telling me that you love me and you're my friend, or that you're in love with me, you know, is very important to hear for me. But I've also noticed you're not as verbal a person as like I am, for example. You're just like, hey, here's the thing, you know, this is how I tell you I care, you know.
Yeah. I used to be more verbal, but it got to the
It's the
point
whole,
with me where
I got this for you because I saw it and it made me think of you.
Exactly.
Yeah. I used to be more verbal, but it got to the point where people were only verbal and there was no action behind the words. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, the
Mhm.
words didn't mean
See, that's what
anything.
I was talking about. See,
Mhm.
that's what I was saying about earlier.
And there are
So
people who
I'll
can be
tell you
sustained
I
on that.
love you, but I would much rather show you that I love you, or I'd much rather you show me that you love me. I want to hear it.
Yeah.
But if I only hear it and there's nothing else, then I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same.
So
I'm the same. That's why a relationship with the guy that only ever said I love you was broke down.
Time is also a big one for me too. Like time spent with me really means a lot too.
Well,
So.
the whole reason that a relationship broke down is because there was none of the service to show, like service provided to show that
Well,
love.
there are a lot of different
There
other
was
ways. It's not,
no.
you know, you can say things verbally, you can do things for people, you can give them gifts, you can just spend time with them. It doesn't even necessarily have to be anything
Well,
just
there
other
was
than
no
I have time to
spending
spend with
time.
you.
There was no gifts, and there was no services.
Yeah, so it felt like he was just saying
He
it. Yeah.
only ever said it. So it got to the point where it's like, well, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
yeah. So that's kind of where I have gotten with it is I am verbal to an extent, but not nearly as much as I used to be when I was younger because to me, I've had a lot of people say a lot of pretty words and promise me a lot of things, friends, romantic relationships. But then when it comes
Talk is
down to
cheap.
it, you know, one day they stop texting me, or they forget my birthday, or, they don't seem to ever make time to talk to me, or, whether it be through text or phone calls or
Look,
in real life.
I'm sorry my girlfriend had a motorcycle accident and I wasn't able to play games with you, but
That's
I'm
not what I
teasing.
meant. But
I
that's
know, I'm
that's one
teasing.
reason why I'm so close to my best friend is that we don't see each other very often, but he makes time to text me on an
Mhm.
almost daily basis.
Yeah.
And no matter whether I text him back or how busy I am, he has always made a certain amount of time for me. And I very much appreciate it because to me that means,
It shows
he's
that he's
thinking about
thinking of you.
me. Yeah, and we have been best friends for such a long time, and that's one of the reasons why is just because it might not have been a big deal to him, but it was a big deal to me, and it showed me that he cared enough to continue to try to talk to me, even if I was not in a position to text him as much as he texted me back. So, that meant a lot when I was going through some really hard times, and there were times where I didn't really have anybody to talk to. And even if I didn't talk to him about what was going on, just the fact that, he would text me every day and just crack a joke or ask me, even just to say good morning or how's it going.
Yeah.
That is a huge deal to some people, just when somebody makes the time to think about them and send them a text,
Yeah.
even if it's just short conversation. So for me, it's something that's small and insignificant to other people, but it's a big deal to me. So, that's kind of where I am at with it, but I don't want to take up all y'all's time.
Oh no,
I
you're
just wanted to
good.
get on here and and crack some jokes about Mustafa and how he's the chocolate daddy.
And set him down between you and Tally, and like that boy is just gonna be so beat red. That
It's all right. Tally can
motherfucker.
have one side, and I'll have the other, and we'll take
hang
turns
on,
getting
hang on.
licks chocolate.
Can black men even blush?
He can.
All right, Mustafa, stop hiding. Send us
It'll-
a picture of you blushing.
It'll look like that day that we sandwiched you between me and Pat,
Oh God.
and me and Pat just going, "Hey Tally, how you doing?" And you're just all
I
like,
was I was so pink.
It was hilarious. That was one of my favorite days because you actually got Tally to shut the fuck up for a minute, guys. She actually had nothing to say.
Like, what do you, how do you respond to that though? I was getting it from both sides, man.
She said.
Oh my goodness. Well,
Okay, guys.
I don't have.
All right, I'll hop out of here, and maybe Travis has his stuff situated.
Oh, it
Thanks
looks
for
like-
letting me pop in.
Alrighty, thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Eve.
Bye, sweetie.
Bye.
See you later. Yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. I'm gonna personally help Travis with his mic issue so he can get this sorted and be on next time. But
Yep.
unless he's got it all sorted now. But even still, we're about to wrap up here. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna do the little finger thing. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what we do on this channel, share with your friends. And
Wait,
if on your way out the
Would you
door,
like to pet the panda? Would you like to pet the panda?
like.
You can pet the little red panda.
Yes, it's little Cece.
It is CC.
Mm-hmm.
Stanley, Luna, and Brooke are down there.
It just
They
warms
fell-
my heart
they-
that that's your favorite.
They fell on the floor.
But if you like what we do on this channel, share
CC
with your
was
friends.
the only one that managed to stay on the bed.
On your way out the door, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And I think that's all we got. Do you have anything else, Tally?
Do what makes you happy. Also, Eve was right. If you did come in and ask what my breast size was, I would have told you.
She would have. So,
I
you
would
know,
have.
Tally's pretty much an open book, and so am I. So, Eve says, "Oh my God, OMFG, I have the same one." Eee! She has the same
Well, no.
Squishmallow, apparently. That's funny.
I love my CC.
Alrighty, kids. It's gonna do it for us. So we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Lay back, relax, enjoy it all. Saturday night, it's time to say no more. S&M with Tally and Chaos Steve. Come pleasure or pain, welcome to the stream.